Hello there. Welcome.
Yo.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Aftershow Podcast. Happy Sunday. Hope you've had a wonderful week and a wonderful 2026 so far. Time seems to be flying as usual. We are in tax season and March is almost over. I'm not looking forward to that one bit.
Mine are done, paid for, everything all set.
I gotta do them this week.
We did that during my wife's February vacation. It was awful. Hated every second of it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever enjoyed the process of doing their taxes unless they're absolute weirdos, or as we call them, accountants. Appreciate everyone for hanging out with us. Let's see. Shout out to Geo for once again being first. What's up, Eastwood? Super Patrick, Calvin, what up, Gabe? How you doing? Hope everyone is well. We got a lot to talk about today, as usual. A lot happened this week. We had the launch of Marvel Rivals Season 7. A lot of stuff to get into about that. We got a new character. We got teasers for the new characters coming next season. Big one for the X-Men fans, finally getting Cyclops. And of course, there's always drama because it's Marvel Rivals. So we have our second support strike going on right now. We get it down. We also had the launch of
a bunch of goddamn babies.
100%. We also had the launch of Crimson Desert, one of the most anticipated games of the last few years, and the results have been mixed. Sales wise, doing great, but a lot to get into there. And I'll talk a little bit about One Piece Season 2 on Netflix because it's just fucking awesome. But first, we have to introduce guest returning for the second week in a row, our good friend and masked vigilante, King Greek. What's up, Mr. Greek? Assuming he's not muted again, we'll give him a light applause while we wait for him to fix his mic. Little Sneaky, welcome on the Twitch side. W Avatar.
Sorry, I was not here like 10 seconds ago. I just came back and heard applause, so I guess that was perfect timing.
Perfect. We're professionals here.
Hi, everybody. I was invited on. I'm black, and I'm happy to be here.
Have we actually confirmed if Greek is black or not?
Allegedly.
It's hard to tell under all the headgear.
I'm going to say nothing because no matter what I say, it's going to be problematic.
100%. Jay has learned his lesson. He learned it well.
I've also learned that Randy Walters is a son of a bitch. Woo!
Saw a video of him punching a random white lady. I was happy he won that case, but there have been so many problematic videos of him that have come out after that.
We're talking about Afro Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that I had a weird craving for lemon pound cake, but I didn't end up getting any. I did have the burnt ends from Costco that Jay recommended this week. As Jay would say, the best meat you could ever put in your mouth.
Nailed it. I knew it. It's so good and it's so easy to make.
What, like I literally just opened the box, look at the instructions. I was like, oh, I just literally have to just put it in my pan and with a bunch of butter and cook it. Okay. They recommended barbecue sauce. If you put barbecue sauce on this, I will slap you. You don't
need it. It's so good. I want to drive out to Costco just for that.
That I might have to have these like every weekend. It's so like you don't literally, the reason you don't use sauce is because it's so tender and moist. It's like it's basically it's like brisket with charred edges.
Yeah, it's
it's so tender, and like the juices felt like it tasted like it was its own sauce. It was like the fat and everything, the way it renders. It tastes. Obviously, it tastes even better with the butter. That's literally all you need. And I literally scarfed down like an entire bowl of just burnt.
Yeah, dude, it's. I'm so glad that I did not fail. I knew I wasn't going to fail you. Like, I was that confident. I said it was like literally one of the best things I've ever bought at any food I've bought at any store ever. You know,
if we're giving out food recommendations, I got some. You guys have a Qdoba near you?
yeah, but you know, not as good as the others.
I have a Qdoba order I could give. It's like with brisket and ground beef. It's nice. It's nice. It's a big burrito.
I'd rather just get Costco burnt ends and just make my own burrito. Like it's so Costco is hitting. Like the previous week I had the Costco cookie cake that everyone's talking about on TikTok and everything like that. Fucking top 3 dessert of all time. And now I have the Costco burnt ends. Fucking delicious. This week I didn't do any Costco, but I did see someone have recommended. I was watching a rival streamer and they randomly recommended Heath bar cookies. They're like these cookies with toffee baked into them. He said that this is is the best thing they have at Publix, which is like a South Atlanta thing, but they have them fortunately over here at my local Acme. So I tried them and can confirm very, very delicious cookies.
Yeah, another thing I love at Costco is they have chicken pineapple meatballs, and those are fantastic too. Like my second favorite thing that I've found there.
Ooh, like yeah, sir. This is the second. I think it's the second week in a row we had a big back discussion to start off with. But
well, you had mentioned the cake thing or the cookie cake thing last week, and that made me think of the burnt ends and how like life changing they were. So. Yeah,
absolutely. Maybe next time I'll see if they have lemon pound cake at Costco as well. I'm sure it's there. Yeah. The Afro Man situation is fucking incredible. Jay mentioned it on the pod. I since caught up on the whole thing. Afro Man, yes, that Afro Man. If you grew up in the 2000s, the guy who made Because I Got High unexpectedly became the symbol for American patriotism and the First Amendment, all because of a bunch of corrupt cops who raided his house under false charges. Didn't charge him anything, but they damaged his property. Obviously, they threatened to murder him, as cops tend to do, and apparently they stole money from him and his mom's lemon pound cake, and literally all he asked for was an apology and for them to fix his door. And of course, because they're corrupt cops, they said, fuck you. And so he spent the next couple years making songs about the officers using the footage from the raid that he had on his home surveillance camera to just troll them like with classic bangers about one cop being fat, then another calling another cop a lesbian who slept with their wives. He said he fucked Afro Man said he personally fucked this other officer's wife. There was apparently another officer who is a PDF file who got caught doing some Epstein activity. So it was a lot, and they ended up suing him, and it did not go well for them at all.
Well, like to further the corruption talk, the judge issued his final ruling and still ruled that he had to pay half of the court costs. When you're found not guilty, normally you're not responsible for anything.
Yeah.
So like the judge, who clearly didn't like him, still tried to kick him in the ass out the door. Obviously, I'm sure he's gonna appeal that, but still, the whole thing was wild. And like the songs are like cheesy and repetitive. Like they're not supposed to be like Shakespeare or anything, but
they kind of are.
They're so stupidly catchy. Like he just Randy Walters is a son of a bitch. Woo! And he's just sitting there like
absolute banger.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
just a little peek into how unbelievably corrupt the American judicial system is, and how terrible our police are. But I'm glad it at least had a mostly happy ending, and I'll always appreciate, in particular, when these stories shed a spotlight just on how corrupt our system is, and it's nice to see when the internet like kind of unites, like all political sides came together and just said fuck these cops.
Yeah.
like everyone's on his side.
Well, it's also like wild. Like if they could do it all over again, don't you think they would have just fixed his fucking door?
You would think.
Like that's all they had to do is fix his door, and none of this happens. It's so wild. And you would think, yeah, and you would think that they would just do that. Like they fucked up. Like it's a door. You knocked in a door. He wants you to fix a door and a gate. Like, okay, just I don't know, man. But they brought. I have no sympathy for them. Like,
none.
Like they had every opportunity to easily make this right, and they did not. So
that's just the sort of people that they hire to give a gun in a badge to. They're arrogant. They think they're above the law. They think they're above the citizens that they're supposed to be serving and protecting. And karma came back around, fortunately.
It's like small town Ohio too, so like you know that they like were feeling themselves. Oh, Karen Reed, that case, she was found not guilty. So she is now involved in her civil case, but yeah, they did give her a DUI, but yeah, she was found not guilty over the summer, so that was great.
Did they drop the Netflix doc yet?
There have been some docs, but not like the big ones.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the big one.
Yeah, they're still all working on that. Like there was a Lifetime movie that was that starred what's her name? Katie Cassidy, who is Black Canary in Arrow. Nice. She was Karen Reed. But it was a Lifetime movie. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, you did it.
You know, but yeah, like yeah, she's kind of tried to disappear. Like that whole I kind of like I follow some of the people that were involved in the whole thing, and that whole scene is fucking wild. It's like this whole universe of just everybody going after each other on the internet. I try to stay out of it, but it can be so petty that like I kind of can't look away. So
like a train,
yeah, man, like that whole thing, I mean, absolutely not guilty, like 100%. And it's been interesting to see the fallout, but yeah,
definitely tap in. But yeah, lot to go over this past week. I know you didn't end up picking up Crimson Desert.
I did not, and there's a few reasons for it. Number one is what I've been dealing with all day. I didn't really want to address this because I was somewhat embarrassed and somewhat blindsided. I was partnered with a company on YouTube. They decided to end our partnership after 7 years, almost 7 years.
Wow.
And so this is the first time I've ever been a straight YouTube partner, like going through their program. And when the separation happened, they gave me instructions on remonetizing my channel, which I did. It said everything was done. I looked through, my videos were all green. I was like, all right, cool. Well, today I was working on some Lego Batman stuff, and I was having trouble with a boss, and I didn't understand why it was like this. So I went to look at my video from 14 years ago to see how I beat it. And when I was doing that, I'm like, oh, wow, these thumbnails suck. Maybe I should update them. So I pulled up the whole playlist, and all of them were monetization no. So I started going through my videos and I'm like, fuck, they're all like, I've noticed that like my money is way down this month. And I'm like, were they getting that good of priority ads? Like that was one of the reasons that they said to go with them. But I'm like, it can't be that much different. And I didn't understand it. I had like one day this month that I made $2, which is fucking wild. And I think it was the first day. So like maybe that was only for like an hour or two, but like still, so like I am now at 7,300 videos remonetized out of over 13,000. So yeah, that's been my day. I'm a little annoyed because all I got was like an email saying, hey, we're entering our partnership agreement. We're really excited to see how you grow. Like, okay, you sent me a boilerplate letter
written by ChatGPT.
like literally that says nothing. And after 7 years of, look, I know I'm not as successful as I was when you signed me, but you came to me. I have no idea what you did for me these last 7 years, except take a certain percentage of my revenue. And then just like no call explaining it. You know what I mean? So I was pretty hurt by it, but I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I'm just going to move on. I had no intention of ever talking about it. And then this happens, and it happens because the instructions they gave me were stupid. Like they literally like they give you a link to click on, and you go to this link, and it just redirects you to your main dashboard. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. I'll figure it out. And I like kind of followed the steps. I know nobody cares about this, but like it's what I've been dealing with all day. I kind of got pissed about it and tweeted some things. And then I just deleted them all. And I was like, you know what? This is the last time I'm going to speak on it. Get it off my chest. It's annoying. I thought I was going to have to do something like this anyway, but I thought there was a way that I would just batch update all of them like they did. And it is not. So I'm fortunately able to do it 50 at a time. But it's a lot of clicking, edit, monetize, update.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, that's because that's the most you can have in your content field. Like the most videos you can have on the page at a time.
I thought for sure there was a way you can batch update like all your stuff. I remember. I thought so too. I remember when I wanted to update my YouTube description to just kind of streamline some of the stuff that I normally do. I just batch uploaded like all my videos.
Yeah, when you go to the bottom though, it's rows per page and the max is 50. So like all I can do is 50 at a time. It's tedious. It's not hard. It's just tedious. And I have so many videos, and it's been a little interesting kind of going down memory lane and seeing some of these videos pop up for me. But here's the thing, man. Like I've never made enough money to like have that, like in my best days, I was, averaging about $4,000 a month, like I had a few years of that, and that was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. And I've definitely had better months than that, but like I'm not that anymore. Trust me. So, but I did find the video. My favorite video that I found today was the video from the day we came home with Thor. So I watched that back and realizing that it was literally like an hour after my mom left, and it was just me and Thor together alone for the first time ever, and just kind of seeing his confused face. So I'm treasuring that I found that one. So anyway, enough of my personal stress. I was gonna get Crimson Desert. I couldn't figure out where to get a code from, so I didn't mind buying it if I had to. But I figured, you know what? At this point, let me just see what the reaction is. I don't want to jump into something, and I don't have there's a lot of other stuff going on Obviously, with season 7 and the new season of Fortnite, and PAX East is this week. There's new Borderlands 4. The first new Vault Hunter launches this week.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I was like, I'm gonna hold off. And it seems like it's a great game, but probably not for me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the best way. Like, it's weird. Like, it's a game I've been looking forward to. And
Same.
And when I saw the initial reactions, I was like, okay, kind of like, it was like the reviews came out and they were mixed. And you had some journalists who said they loved it. Paul Tassi gave it a 9.5 out of 10, but they all kind of acknowledged the game is kind of janky, had some issues. But others, it didn't appeal to them as much. And this narrative came up from gamers like, oh, can't trust game journalists, they start calling them the yellow paint crowd, saying that because the game doesn't hold your hand, they gave it a low score, ignoring the fact that these same game journalists gave Elden Ring a 9.6 out of 10. but that was the narrative going into the launch, that the game is actually a masterpiece, and and the players are going to give it this huge score because it's a game for the gamers, not the game journals. And surprise, the journalists were right again. The reviews, the player scores dropped, and they were also mixed. Like I literally checked Metacritic. The critic score and the user score are exactly the same, 7.8. The reviews on Steam mixed.
From what I understand, like, the controls are kind of janky.
They're absolute dog shit.
Okay.
There's no way around it. They're probably the worst controls I've ever experienced in any action game I've ever played.
And that is what made me not buy it. When I started seeing that feedback, like from Moxie and from Paul Tassi, I was like, ooh, okay. If they're complaining about this, I'm just gonna wait. I'll maybe get it someday.
And the funny thing is, the combat is actually good. Like, it feels, the combat feels good. Like, I think especially enjoy it because even early on, you can unlock wrestling moves, like straight up wrestling moves, and it feels good to use in combat. Like, as soon as I upgraded them, because when you start out, you got your sword and shield, and I was getting used to that. And then as soon as I unlocked the wrestling moves, I started chaining my sword attacks into RKOs and German suplexes, and it was fucking awesome. I was like, and so I'm like looking into the combat, but for the rest of the game, like trying to precision jump, like there's a precision jump button, like in a typical action game, when you have to jump, when you do some platforming sections, what do? You hit the jump button and aim your camera so that you can precisely jump on the platform. But because of how dog shit these controls are, you don't do that. Instead, first of all, the jump button is square, which is fucking weird, not X. But because the way you designed it, you can't just jump onto the platform. You have to hold L1, which pulls up a menu, which allows you to do a precision jump. And there's a light that shines, and you have to aim it at the platform at the part of the platform you want to get to, and then you press square for precision jump, so that it guarantees that you jump where you want to go.
Great in theory, but that sounds terrible.
Terrible in theory and in practice.
I'll tell you what, like, that would really mess with me, because, like, I'll tell you what really messes with me the most, like, going from an Xbox or PlayStation controller to the like Nintendo Switch controller, because A and B are reversed and X and Y are reversed, and I've already memorized that those buttons are, Y is triangle and X is square, and whatever it is. Like, I already have that memorized, the transition between an Xbox and a PlayStation controller, but having them reversed on a Switch controller like messes the shit out of me. Like, the A button is jump in a lot of things, and that's the right button, and it's so weird. Like, that would be like the jumping with circle.
Yeah, that's kind of like playing Crimson Desert. You're used to like L3 being run. Like you just when you're trying to run, you just you
push down.
push the stick forward to move, push it down to run. No, in Crimson Desert, it's X. Except it's not just pushing X. You have to double tap it. Like if you tap it to start jogging, and then you double tap it to start sprinting. And it's kind of just everything kind of also feels like like there's like some input lag. It feels really bad. Like it's surprising that the combat feels as good as it does because everything else feels like complete dog shit. Like it's really bad. And it also brought back something that I thought we were done with. Like one of the best parts of owning a PS5, transitioning from the PS4 era is the load times. Like that was one of the great selling points. That was pretty much the biggest selling point, because there wasn't like a huge graphic update from the 4 to the 5, but you noticed it with the load times. You can just basically boot up your PS5, turn your game on, and within like seconds you're just back in your game. Like if I pull up Ghost of Yotei, within like 5 seconds I'm standing in a meadow with Atu. But the load times to get into Crimson Desert are fucking egregious. They try to dress it up, make it look cool, like you're going down this magical doorway, and then your character appears and you're walking down this magic. Like it's a nearly 1 minute loading screen.
Oof.
They just disguised it as like this kind of mystical bullshit. It's 1 minute of loading. It's PS4, not even PS4 Pro. It's PS4 era load times on this next gen exclusive fucking game. And I'm on the PS5 Pro, mind you. and I'm sitting there. First, I thought it was like a cutscene or something. I thought it was like I had unlocked some new shit. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, I guess. And then nothing happened, and my character just loaded. I'm like, oh, was this a fucking load screen? So when I tried it again, I was like, well, maybe I can skip this. No, it's not. You can't skip it. It's literally just the loading screen. They just they just made it look different. And I'm like, my God, bro, what the fuck are we doing in the big 2.6? like what is happening? Fortunately, I haven't had any crashes yet. I did hear some people had some crashes on their base PS5. Performance otherwise has been really good for me on the Pro. Like my issues have mainly just been the actual game design. The bad controls. The quest lines are kind of goofy too. Like they have some interesting stuff. They also have like some really AI generated seeming RPG side quest bullshit. There's one interesting side quest I had where after I have to arm wrestle some dude for reasons, there's literally just reasons. Like it's a main quest. You just arm wrestle some dude, and after you win that, you're instructed to give money to a beggar. So you give money to a beggar, and he thanks you and gives you a key, and the key unlocks this trap door that he was sleeping on top of. So you go down to the trap door, and it's like this whole like underground dungeon area, and there's a woman being held prisoner there. You're like, what the fuck did I get into? So you untie the woman, and she thanks you for your bravery, and then magically disappears. And you're like, okay. And after giving you a magically sealed envelope, and you're like, oh, okay. So you do it. Then your next quest is I ended up helping a guy clean his chimney because his wife was nagging about it, so he pretended he got hurt, and so I just did it for him, and then I got rewarded with some clothes, which I could use to get into the castle, because in this town they look at you, and if you don't have the right clothes, they won't let you in. But now I had the right clothes and I got in, and I was able to find where I was able to make use of the magic envelope with the key, and I was transported into the Sky Islands. And after you do this puzzle, you meet the woman, and you find out that the guy was just great wizard and she's a magic user, and you get a little more lore in the world. And they were just testing and seeing if look for someone who's worthy, and she gifts you with the ability to fly, which is very cool. It's very cinematic, but it's like a mix of these bullshit nonsensical side quests, and occasionally you get something really cool, and the game's kind of all over the place. Honestly,
I mean, you sold me when you said you had to clean the guy's chimney. Is that what we're calling it these days?
No, it's literally chimney cleaning. It's not even the innuendo. Literally, you're literally cleaning this guy's chimney.
I don't know. You said you got rewarded with clothes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, from his wife. His
wife.
His wife literally you're literally just cleaning his chimney while his wife tells you that you're what a real man is. It's fucking a little crazy, but that's Crimson Desert in a nutshell. It's a massive, insanely credible open world that has a lot of jank to it, a lot of beauty to it. It's a lot. It's going to be some people's favorite games, and for a lot of people, it's just not going to be for them. That's just it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of FOMO, because it does look like the type of game I would like to play. I was never worried about difficulty, and I have heard some difficulty things. Like, I know Moxie and Tassie talked about this one in particular boss that like they had to fight like 50 times, and then an update happened, and now that fight is like significantly easier. So I mean, that's also like the downsides of early access is a lot of times you're playing before the day one update, and so I was like, I think I'm gonna hold off for now. I say
if you don't mind games where you kind of just explore and just do shit, like you're not worried about a set quest line, or you don't care about story really at all, and you just want to do cool shit and in like this big fantasy world, I think it'd be up your alley, because there's no shortage of things you potentially do. Like, it has so many systems. There's a whole banking system. You can run your own town. You can own a dragon. You can own a mech and fly around. Like, there's all this cool shit you can eventually do, but it's fucking weird. It is a weird game. Have you tried to Greek at all?
Nope.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was the Greek's kind of game. It feels like a more chaotic Fable or like Assassin's Creed with less structure and just more freedom. Like it literally just gives you the choice to just kind of do whatever you want. It's just implemented in like kind of awkward way. And it was some like kind of dark shit that came about it. Like, there was some anonymous employees who mentioned that there was like this big culture of toxic positivity at Pearl Abyss, and
toxic positivity.
Yeah,
Geo works there.
Yeah, Geo is an intern, and apparently the game had like an actual coherent story, but there was like this like whole power struggle that resulted in like a coup, and now the people in charge were just kind of just throwing all this bullshit out there and would not accept any criticism, and they would just like take anything they thought was cool and just shove it into the game. So it kind of turned into a bit of a mess. And obviously there were people complaining about Gen AI because somebody found a painting in one of the houses that was clearly AI generated and not like in a it looks fine, but it's AI generated. No, it looks like absolute dog shit. It is clearly AI generated, just the pure definition of slop. And they came out and apologized about it, said, "Oh, we accidentally put it in there," and whatever. I don't care about that. I care more so about the story kind of being nonsense and the controls being complete ass. But it's a game that still has my attention, and I'll keep playing it, and because it's definitely a game that kind of seems to reward you the more you put into it. But it's definitely something that I'm just kind of patiently moving through, since I know that there's like no clear narrative that I need to get to the end of. Like, so it's kind of freeing in a way where, you know, you don't feel pressure to just figure out, you know, how does the story end, because it's like literally even the developers themselves seem to just not give a shit about what the story is. So I'm just trying to find just cool shit at this point.
Yeah, I knew a bunch of things were about to happen. You know, this week, Thursday through like, PAX East is Thursday through Sunday. I'm going Thursday. Friday I might go, but I'm also taking my mom to the Worcester Red Sox opening day, which is the Red Sox AAA team, because Roger Clemens is going to be there, and we're hopefully going to meet him. So then there's, you know, 2 more days of PAX East. So, and then, you know, obviously season 7 Arrivals just started. Cash is the new bounty hunter from Borderlands 4. He comes out on Thursday. So I want to jump back into Borderlands really bad because
I still haven't finished that game.
Yeah, I still need to get a few achievements. Borderland, the first 3 games I have like all the achievements, so I kind of don't want to leave one hanging, you know.
Yeah, maybe I'll play some catch up, and or maybe you can carry me to the end of the story, Jay.
Yeah, some of the bosses were pretty tough, but also I jumped into the last bounty pack, and I actually deleted that stream. I was so frustrated because I just think my build that I stopped playing with just wasn't working with these new enemies, and they were just mollywopping me. It was like insane, and I was getting frustrated with myself, and I said something not great.
He said no word.
And then I started like overthinking it, and I was like, you know what? I just need to get out of here. So,
oh no. Oh yeah. Whenever it gets to that point, yeah, you definitely need to take a step back.
Very, very, very rare that I like if I have a not great moment or whatever, I'll usually just leave it up, but very rare that I take it down. So like completely deleted.
Yeah, I think, did you delete the Dragon Ball Z stream?
Yes, I think that was one. I hated that fucking game.
Fortunately, I was there for that one.
Yeah,
I wanted to fight you guys in there, but unfortunately, I missed it.
I hated that game so much. Like, and thankfully, that was one of the only games my partner ever like. It just, I randomly got it. I didn't even ask for it. It's like, oh, hey, we got you an Xbox code for Dragon Ball whatever. And I'm like, what? Okay, sure, I'll try it.
He got stuck. He got stuck on the Great 8 Vegeta fight, which famously is weirdly tuned. Because it's like the second boss fight of the story, and it's the hardest boss fight in the entire story.
yeah, and I just was like, I can't, I just don't want, this is not good for anybody involved. Ironically, the other game that the 2 games that I got from them was that Dragon Ball game and Elden Ring Night Rain, which also famously took the stream down. I made it members only though.
Yeah. Two. They did, clearly the partners did not know Jay very well. Like to be fair, the Sparking Zero thing, nobody expected that. Yeah, it took. It was weird. It was a weird difficulty spike, though.
Yeah,
it took me 2 tries to beat the Saiyan Vegeta boss, but I know a lot of people were bashing their head against the wall. Trying to beat it. It was a really weird. That was a weird game. There was a lot of hype because it was something people were looking forward to for literally years. It was the first sequel in years, and the game was just kind of mid at the end. Like it was fun. It was fun for like a month, and then people just got off it because the multiplayer aspect was just horribly unbalanced, and even the And once people got tired of the custom stuff, which was really fun, it was just kind of like, okay, I just wanted to do all the story stuff, and I was a little disappointed in that because Dragon Ball Z Kakarot kind of set the bar for me when it comes to the story content. The story DLC in that game is in this normal story mode is so fucking good. It's absolutely incredible. And for Spark Zero, it just felt kind of cheap in comparison, which was weird because the rest of the game has such high production value. So I was like, yeah, okay, I had my fun and I'll dip out. But I definitely had fun.
We should all play it again on stream.
We should.
Nope.
We should not.
We should all play it again on stream and fight each other.
Yeah.
You're gonna just get a free win, okay? It's gonna be very embarrassing for me. I don't mind being the butt of the joke. It's fine. But I was gonna say, the game is bad when Sadot isn't just immediately going to skill issue, and he's actually saying, well, in Jay's defense, like he didn't say it verbatim, but I'm taking it that way, which is an absolute win for me.
No, it's true. Like, still, it's a skill issue. I did beat it. It took me 2 tries to beat it, but
right.
but
I've never played that type of game before.
Yeah.
So,
but I could acknowledge it was horribly balanced.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It was very poorly done. Like, I'm not going to sit here in front.
I mean, to be fair, it is a staple for Dragon Ball games. It's not the first time that happened. Like, for anybody that's played, I'll give you an example. Dragon Ball Z Budokai. There are 2 things in that game that were unnaturally hard for no reason. Keep in mind, this is back when games didn't have a difficulty.
Yeah.
It was the mission where there's a mission where you have to line up where as Piccolo, you have to line up the shot on Raditz while Goku's holding him. And he's moving back and forth like a crackhead. It's incredibly hard to line up the shot. The game literally just refuses
scientific
to agree.
term.
It refuses to agree with you. The second part is Perfect Cell. The last fight against full power Perfect Cell. You have to do God's work to beat him. He can kill you in 2 combos. Dragon Ball games are notorious for having some bosses just be absolutely hard for no reason. So I will say it's annoying, but as somebody who's played Dragon Ball games, it would be weird if that wasn't there.
It's kind of part of the charm. Like even I remember there was the Dragon Ball Kakarot Battle of the Gods DLC, and there were people struggling with the Beerus boss fight because they made him pretty strong. Even in Kakarot, like before the DLC, like the difficulty spike is weird because I think the Saiyan saga was like the hardest part of the entire story, and then the rest of the game is easy as fuck. Like the rest of the story is just you just gotta breeze through it. So there's for sure a pattern of weird scaling in these games for sure. So it's not just Jay's skill issue or Jay's part. It's just weird balancing and scaling. But the other big thing this week, of course, was season 7 of My Rivals. I played a little with Jay on day 1. We got in some White Fox content, and we had a big old bout of fun. Jay struggled a bit with White Fox, but this
I'm getting there. I just didn't understand some of the mechanics.
I instantly just it just clicked for me with White Fox. There's the Spider-Man Marvel Rivals card.
Got these Marvel Rival cards. These are my 2 rare ones, numbered out of 150. I don't know that I would get these again. They're kind of weird cards. They're nice, but it was like $80 for the box. So these are, it's kind of cool that they have them, but they're out of China. So those are some of the highlights. But yeah.
We also learned on Twitter that Jay now is forced to like Scroll Girl.
Dude, all right. I want to just jump right into, because I think we might have talked about this previously, how the 20% rollback on Ultimates is one of the big updates. And I said that I thought that was lazy because it doesn't really address the real issue. And I kind of last night we were playing just a chill Annihilation stream. And I was like, man, I'm playing Hella and I'm almost Lord with Hela through Annihilation. And I know that in previous matches, I used to be able to get ult about 3 times with her.
Mhm.
And now I'm only getting it once and about halfway to the other one. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy because, like, sure, you rolled it back 20%, but other characters are getting it way faster and they have like just as good, if not better, ults. And the character I used as an example, because we're having the conversation about Milana Vaintrub, I don't know how to pronounce her name properly, but I pulled out Squirrel Girl and I got 3.5 ults during the same kind of match. And then I pulled out Moon Knight today and I got almost 5 ults during the same length match. So like rolling it back 20% is great in theory, but it's lazy because it doesn't. What game
mode was that?
It's just Annihilation, but still, like it's scientific because we're all in the. It's not the exact same match, 4 times, but it's the same length of match, the same type of enemies. You're able to build it up about the same, and you're getting ult like so much faster with 2 other characters. Why not go character by character and just adjust it so that it's a little more balanced?
I do want to say
that's the biggest thing.
I do want to say that in normal matches, again, with the exception of characters like Moon Knight and Squirrel Girl, and that's just because they already get so much ult charge off of just existing. You would have to personally tweak them outside of the global buff. But even still, one thing that's not happening anymore, because like in a rank match or whatever, you could have a Moon Knight ult a solid 3 to 4 times, maybe 5 if the team is just running no shield tanks and you get to kind of just touch everybody. Now, you're not wrong for saying what you're saying, Jay. But you also have to remember that you're playing in Annihilation.
No, I understand, but I'm using that also as like the basis. I'm not comparing a regular match of only getting 1 ult with Hela to Annihilation getting almost 5 ults with Moon Knight. You know what I mean? Like every match is different, but at least with Annihilation, you have like a lot of people always bunched up, so you can kind of damage farm and whatever. It's like not. All the matches play out fairly similar, whereas a regular quick play match or ranked match, they're not always. There are going to be different strats and different everything. It's not like 1-to-1 for sure, or apples to apples for sure.
Oh yeah, they're completely different. But the point is that the point does stand that, and this is something I noticed while we were playing our 6v6, that Moon Knight still gets his ult extremely quickly. And they definitely needed to individually look at him to further their research. Squirrel Girl maybe, but I 100% Moon Knight, because Moon Knight before the buffs already was a problem with how fast he can build his ult, and it's something I definitely noticed. Now the 20% was definitely the correct thing. I think the bad thing is that they didn't go far enough. I think it should have been global 30 to 40%. And definitely touch someone individually like Moon Knight to make sure that they don't get it as faster than the others, because it was looking to clean up the flow of typical 6v6 matches where everything was kind of just becoming alt spam, and it was like a lot less skill expression because people weren't playing neutral. They were just kind of just farming ult and then just having a big ult fight. It allowed a lot of people to kind of get away with not being very good at the game, because they could just press one button to use their ult to bail them out of making bad plays. Whereas now you have to be better in the neutral. You have to use your ults more wisely. And I think that change has definitely made the matches feel better and more skillful compared to seasons past. But I definitely think they need to go further with the ult charge thing, because I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, I would agree. Also, one thing, because I did see this comment and I wanted to address this. and this was from Geo.
Oh,
Bandai already makes games crossplay. Making Sparking Zero crossplay wouldn't have saved the game. The game died for other reasons that were not crossplay
Yeah,
focused. That
for
would not
sure.
have saved it.
For
I
sure.
mean, it would have made it easier to play against friends, but no, that crossplay, adding crossplay doesn't necessarily save a game. That all that does is just extend the lifespan, unless it's a situation unless it's like a 2K situation giving where them giving players the ability to play cross-platform changed a lot. That's
For sure.
touch and go situation.
But 2K was already a successful game every year, so like Sparking Zero failed because it was really just a content problem. The people who play these fighting games, competitively, they jumped out because competitively it was horribly designed, like completely, and then the people who were there for like the content and the story, they kind of dipped out because there was really not much there either once you got through the initial batch. So it was just kind of like, okay, well, we'll move on to the next game. That is just what it is. But I think we're in agreement that the changes. What about the balance changes? Because I definitely I will say the emergency patch made things better, because without it though, the season 7 patch would have been pretty dog shit. I'm not even gonna hold you there, because the way they made it sound in the dev vision was very exciting, and it was just always funny to see Xiang come through and give us the details, and the details are like, what the hell? Like, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna buff Black Panther by removing the cooldown from his double jump. And we're like, what? And we're gonna nerf Emma Frost, who was like one of the lower performing tanks, and do nothing to Groot, the most broken tank in the entire game. It's like a lot of just nonsensical changes. And of course, Hela doesn't get touched, and Phoenix doesn't get touched, and people were distracted by, oh look, they finally gave Blade a nice little rework, kind of give him some buffs, but again, if you look closely at it, not enough. They didn't fix the dirt. They didn't undo the nerf they gave him to his sword sword slash, which was insanely stupid, because they nerfed him while he was already one of the worst performing heroes in the entire game, while buffing characters like Bucky, and not doing anything to Phoenix, and releasing Elsa in the state that she was in. And after playing Blade, his ult feels a lot better, but he still has kind of the same fundamental issues. He doesn't do enough damage, and he doesn't have enough survivability to brawl long enough to really do any damage. He's still not quite there yet. Like, it's a step in the right direction, but that and the Hulk buff were like the highlights, and the Blade buffs just kind of still aren't there yet. And I do think that there needs to be a longer look at what's going on with the balancing team, because there's definitely seems to be like a disconnect, I'd say, between the community and what Xiang wants to do with the balance of the game. Like, it's good that they're willing to listen to feedback to an extent, but it just feels weird that they needed an emergency patch to actually add some changes, like nerfing Captain America's, like Captain America, prime example. Captain America's biggest problem is that he doesn't do any damage. Like, he's a stall merchant. That's his whole thing. He runs around, jumps over your head, and it's just really annoying. And if you're on PC, he can apply some pressure, because if you animation cancel, he actually does some pretty good damage. And what did they do? They took away the animation cancel, so he does less damage than he did before, which was already among the worst in the entire game. And they tried to justify it by saying, "Oh, it's going to be smoother and consistent." No, it's you nerfed his damage and didn't give him any compensation. Like, you nerfed his overall damage. So then in the emergency patch, they gave him a buff to the first 2 attacks on his in his combo, and it's like, why does this? why does this need emergency patch? Why would you want to nerf it in the first place? And then why would you make that change without considering the damage fall off? And again, why did you need content creators in the early access server to point out like it doesn't make any sense to take away his animation cancel and then not even give him a damage buff to compensate? Like it doesn't make any sense to begin with. Like it was an unneeded change and you didn't do. It's just weird what they're balancing for sometimes and what the testing process. It feels like they should take advantage of the partner program and kind of bring in creators who specialize in these particular characters that they're thinking of making changes for, and have them, on a separate test server, test some of these changes and propose changes and give feedback. Because I feel like that would be a lot more impactful than just throwing the shit out there and seeing and everyone reacting like what the hell, and then you have to like slap together something hastily. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll let Greek address that more because I am not as big of a nuts and bolts guy.
He loves nuts, but not the bolts.
Cashews, pistachio.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
The balancing, the actual patch part of the season 7 notes. I think that they were pretty lackluster. I think the emergency patch definitely made it better, but like I think it just goes to this overall issue that there seems to be a pretty big disconnect. Like Guang will describe the issue and make it seem like they kind of get it, and we're about to get some banger patch notes. Xiang will talk about the issues with the game, and then you'll see the actual patch notes, and it's like, and it feels like they were written by people who haven't been listening to the community, or listening inconsistently, or just haven't been playing the game. Like it doesn't make any sense a lot of times.
I will say, at least to me, because like I definitely did just go and look up exactly what the emergency patch was, and it was really only a few things. The biggest thing being the change for Cap. There was a buff for Panther, a nerf for Gambit, and a buff for Emma. Now, in my honest opinion, besides Emma, the emergency patch didn't really mean too much for me, because at the very least, I thought the normal patch was okay. Granted, there was definitely a couple of like nothing burger changes, like Bucky, for example. But past that, I mean, I didn't really have too much of an issue with the patch notes. I think it's more so the changes to rank and the changes to just the triple hill comp as a whole were more important than the patch notes. And that's not saying the patch notes weren't more important, but like outside of like 2 or 3 things, they really just didn't have that much. They didn't have that much oomph to them. Like if that makes sense, because like for example, the Angela change. That was kind of iffy. Blade got a massive buff. Granted, people are for some reason not playing him like he can't fucking die anymore. But the Blade buff
he can die.
The Blade buffs were definitely decent.
I want to interrupt real quick. I think the Crimson Desert devs are listening to the show. As of 3 minutes ago, they released a new patch. One of the major updates in this patch, we've adjusted some gamepad and keyboard mouse controls, increased health restored from food and items, and added new item storage in the Howling Hill camp. So,
hallelujah. Shout out to Armani for the 5. I have not gotten to the point where I unlocked the other characters yet, but when I watched the gameplay preview, I was interested in playing with the girl because she seems like the more magic user type. And in these type of fantasy games, I typically prefer the spellcasters and so if I can do a little bit of that, that'd be cool. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just staying on the main character for now until I unlock anything. I wonder if they're going to add shared skill trees. That was another complaint I saw from the early reviews. They didn't have any shared skill trees with the other two characters.
Yeah, sorry. Before we went too far and I saw Armani's super chat, I wanted to just bring that up because breaking news.
No, that's good. So at least they're willing to listen, because I figured they would, because the initial sales were really good. 2 million sold in 24 hours, which is fantastic. But when I saw the reviews from the players are mixed, I'm like, okay, they're definitely going to address some stuff. Like they need to address some stuff. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, back to I'll say this. Because I went so hard with Deadpool last season, I'm kind of having to relearn how to play some characters, and I mostly played White Fox. But when I wasn't playing White Fox, I played a lot of Emma during the stream, and I thought I did pretty decent, considering I haven't been tanking as much lately. Picking her back up, I don't know that I felt any difference. You guys said that they made some improvements for her, but I don't really know that I noticed a huge difference personally. But
yeah, it's mainly noticeable if you play her a lot. Like her cooldown was lowered on her diamond form, which was really important because
3 seconds. Yep.
Yeah, it really it was really noticeable, like how when they nerfed it, because there was a lot more downtime and you had to be a lot more careful with how you used it.
That is the area of her that I need to get the most improved at. I don't necessarily do great with her diamond form. But
it's probably her most important ability, and lowering the cooldown on that was a big deal.
And I believe it, because I definitely noticed a few times where I was able to like do something I think I choke slammed Doctor Strange a couple times when he was in Agamotto, because she's not affected by that in diamond formed, right?
Yeah,
no.
I happened to go right at the right time. Sorry.
I don't think I think it's kind of just a tank thing with you. You tend to run face first into damage a lot.
Well, because like a lot of these tanks, you have to be in the front, in a lot of ways. And I am definitely not patient, but I also, it's like, at least with her, she has a little bit of range with her her laser beam.
Yeah.
But like it's tough. Like it's tough because you got to get close to hit them.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
The misconception of
I'm not talking about Emma. I'm not talking about Emma. I mean, in general.
I'm talking about tanks in general. The misconception is that you have to be out in the front, out in the open, taking damage for your team, and that's just not the way tanks work in hero shooters, especially in Marvel Rivals. You want to be taking space. That's very important. That's the tank's job, but you also need to be able to know when to give space, and you need to be taking space correctly. You don't want to be standing out in the open, for no reason. You want to be still playing cover, looking for opportunities.
It's a push and pull situation. Sometimes you have to kite, but it's really push and pull. A lot of tanks, like our good buddy Jen, we love him, but a lot of tanks tend to only do the push part instead of pull, where they will walk forward, blow the fuck up, and then be surprised when they die, and then we have no tank. And that's just that's honestly that's just a tank problem in general. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I haven't done that myself. And granted, yes, there are times where tanks definitely can't constantly look back to see if their team is following them. Like, you can do it sometimes, but not all the time. Yeah. It's kind of just like a trust thing. Like, if you see them moving with you, then you move. But a lot of tanks really don't know how. I'm not saying, well, as a tank, you're really not supposed to be patient. Like, you are supposed to be in the front, but like Sadot said, that's about knowing how to take space, knowing when to take space. Like, for example, if you're playing Strange and there is an Emma and a Rogue in front of you, you have to play passive, because those are two tanks that will bully you if they catch you.
One I'm saying, or if you get if one of your team gets a pick, either you or one of your DPS get a kill, then that's the universal sign. Okay, walk forward. They're down a man. But but on the reverse side of that, that's why you need to also have a lot of situation awareness. If you see on the kill feed that you just lost a player or two, then that's not the time to push forward. And I'll see a lot of tanks will just keep pushing forward no matter what's happening on the kill feed. And no, if you're down a player or two, especially if you're down a support, that's your cue to back up and start regrouping, start giving that space back, because you're just going to get rolled at that point. You're in a losing fight, especially if you lose the support. Like if you lose a DPS, you can still win the fight, but you need to play a little bit more passively until you can get a pick yourself to kind of even up. You lose support, fight's probably over, and you need to start regrouping and maybe look for an opportunity to punish them if they make a mistake. But you don't want to be getting aggressive when you start losing your own players. And that's just part of the learning the tank experience, knowing when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive. That seems to be what gives tanks a lot of.
That separates good tanks from meatheads.
Yeah, and also the type of tank you're using. Like if you're playing mag, you can kind of his kit allowed you to kind of get away with making some of those bonehead mistakes, because he's got his big curtain shield, he's got his bubble on himself, he's got a lot of HP. So if you do get a little too out in the open, it's not always the end of the world. You have the tools that can allow you to get back to safety. Whereas if you're on the thing, you actually, even though his kit is kind of simple, ooga boonga punch, you have to actually play a lot smarter compared to if you were on like a mag, because the thing doesn't have a shield. It's actually very easy to blow him up, especially if they're playing like Punisher.
Yeah. You have to play skittish. You have to play very skittish until you have to play very skittish until that window of opportunity opens up for you. Because when you're on thing, you can kite, you can play behind a wall, you can play behind your shield tank. If anything, you jump forward, scam, pull the attention on you. You're gonna force the team to walk back. Meanwhile, your team can walk forward. Again, it's just a lot of playing very skittish until you are able to move forward safely. And when I say move forward safely, I don't mean move forward and just punch every fucking body. I mean move forward without blowing up.
Yes, that is the key. Do not blow up.
Because what's the word? If you have a thing in a strange, thing is going to be the biggest target, specifically just because there's easier access to him. You can blow him up, but if you also don't take care of him, he's going to either fry your backline or fry one of your movement heroes like magic. And responding to what David just said, I would have to disagree. Thing is not a lame tank.
He's actually one of the strongest in the game.
People quite literally just don't know how. People just don't know how to counter him, because I think the only comp where Thing doesn't realistically work is poke. You can play him in any other comp. It's not poke. You can play him in heavy brawl. You can play him in heavy dive. You cannot play him in poke.
Yeah, he just doesn't work because he just doesn't have enough range. Unfortunately,
it's not even a range. It's not even a range. He just doesn't have a shield. So if you're running against the Namor, Hela, and Phoenix, that's just free.
Yeah, partially because of the range. Like even without a shield, like someone like Penny Parker, she doesn't have a shield, but you can technically play her in poke because she has guns. She can shoot. She can set up her nest anywhere. She can set up her nest on high ground in near a choke and just spam her shots and throw down mines on top of the back line and just be really annoying and get picks. Whereas the Thing is just limited to punch, like he can't really close that. He can't really close that distance. Even someone like Captain America, he's also melee, but you can play him in pretty much any comp because he has so much mobility. Like he runs in, he's got a shield, but he's jumping around over top of you, and he can be an distraction. And once everyone's looking at him, when it's time to go, he could just leap out, and he's just gone in a couple of seconds. Like he has so much ability. Thing can jump out, but if you don't have a teammate in range, then he's just kind of stuck. He's kind of stuck there, like awkwardly rumbling with his Nancy Street charge, try to escape and zigzag so he doesn't get blown up. He doesn't. He's not the swiftest. Even Hulk can super jump and shield. He can shield and super jump to get out. So Thing, it's kind of just like shit out of luck if you go too deep or you're trying to close the gap. It can be tough. Unfortunately, I don't know if they can really change that. I would like to see them, and this is what one of the things that disappointed me. I thought tanks generally needed a survivability buff of some kind. A lot of them, not Venom, like fuck Venom, but the other ones like needed something in order to, I think, combat the kind of the insane damage in this game. Because one of the I think frustrating things about playing tank is that for a lot of them, not just there being like so few compared to all the DPS on the roster, but it feels like they're too reliant on your team behind you being competent, and more specifically your healers looking at you, and they don't have as much agency as I feel like they should have, and that they do have in other games. I think it would have been nice if tanks had something to better combat the insane amount of poke, since they obviously refuse to do anything about poke. It would be nice if they gave the tanks that don't have shields to, or big shields like Doctor Strange, that to have some kind of extra survivability buff. That I thought that would be nice. Damage as well. I would like some of them to have more lethality to them. Like Doctor Strange used to be like hard S tier when he had the Gamma team up, and he was a lot more fun, that he could just put pressure on everybody instead of just being a shield merchant that you use to portal back to point in overtime.
Did I see something where they were like kind of making fun of people complaining about poke in like the dev video or something? I saw people like making a big deal about it.
They threw a couple. They definitely threw a couple shots at a player. They threw some shots at inefficient, ineffective DPS players. A lot of things is like philosophical. They feel like a lot of issues in the game could be solved by players just kind of getting good, and that's true to an extent. The reality is the balancing of this game has consistently been pretty bad, and it's not just on the community. Community for sure definitely has a problem with players not adapting, not adjusting, having a low amount of skill, because it has attracted a lot of more casual people and just general toxic people who are very stubborn. But as we're seeing now with the support strike, which started because one of the changes, which was great, is that they added a third ban slot. Now each team can ban 3 characters instead of just 2. And one person had a game where like 6 supports were banned because, surprise, surprise, some of the most broken and overtuned characters in the game happen to be supports. So there was a game where Cloak and Dagger, Gambit, Loki, Invis were all banned, and this person started crashing out on Twitter and saying this, and just started playing the victim, like, oh, supports are being targeted, this is unfair, blah blah blah. Some people were making it like a gender issue, and all of a sudden we're now a support strike with this these clout chasers out and about trying to farm engagement. And to be clear, there was never a support strike. It's just chronically online Reddit weirdos who are just crying. Like there was never a real support strike. Most people just play the game. This is just a loud minority of weirdos on social media that are just trying to get attention. There's not actually a mass amount of support players that are just going on strike and not playing the game. But it's just something that will pop up, and it's definitely sometimes worth acknowledging to a degree, because we know that the devs do respond to social media. They do take that into consideration. Like they had in the patch notes under the Blade changes, they referenced the Blade funeral, which which is a live stream that one of the top Blade players held, where he literally had a funeral for Blade because of how dog shit the character is, and he just literally had a black funeral for Blade, and retired using the character, started using Elsa, who's using his gun, by the way, and they threw that in the blog while mentioning, you know, what all the changes they were given to them. So we know they're tapped in. They pay attention to what's going on, and it's always a bad look when you see support community in particular like come out and try to just make this whole big deal about how they're victims when they're not. They're just bad players who refuse to take accountability.
Speaking of black, I just saw your Agent Venom comment on my video.
How many inches is the battle for the record?
I mean, he's 1/6 scale, so I don't know how many inches that is. I don't think it's 19, but I have to say this is a really dope figure.
It is very dope.
So anyway,
I would love
he was looking at me.
So King Greek scoffed immediately because he's also no stranger to being annoyed with support players as someone who plays a lot of tank. What do you think of the support strike part 2?
I want to say this because I saw this coming first. This is what David said. I think most of the tanks and the rivals need to do a bit more damage because not a lot of people play the tank role. Strange can already blow people up with a full combo. Cap's new combo, when performed correctly, could damn near wipe out a 250. Emma literally gets increased damage. Over time and just absolutely shreds. Hulk literally just got a buff. On top of him not dying, he does a fair amount of damage. Here's the thing. It's not that tanks need to do more damage. It's that is that some of the duelist characters need to do less because they're overtuned. Because here's the problem. DPS character, there's a lot of DPS characters that are somewhat overtuned. If you buff tank characters, guess what that means? The supports are gonna have to get buffed again in order to keep the balance. Because if both tanks and DPS are just shitting out damage, supports are not going to be able to keep up. They're just not. Now, speaking of supports, because of the support strike situation, my whole thing about the situation is this. I understand how people feel, but I honestly think it's bullshit. And the reason for that is because I can understand if like it was Rocket and I don't know, maybe Adam, occasionally a Mantis ban here and there. Hell, maybe even Ultron if you really don't want to deal with a flyer cop. But the only healers that are consistently getting banned are Invis, C&D, and Gambit. Gambit, a support who basically ran this game for the past 2 seasons. Invis, a support who has ran this game since she's been since she's been at it back in season 1. Like, let's not forget that before Gambit, the big 3 were literally her, C&D, and Luna, because any combination of them was just incredibly hard to deal with. And then also C&D. the most brain dead healer next to Jeff. Those are primarily the main three healers that are getting banned. So it's not even necessarily that, oh, it's a support strike, people are banning our support so we can't play. No, it's more so y'all can't rely on white woman magic anymore.
True.
This is literally what the situation is, because again, Loki, a good Loki is insufferable. A good rocket is hard to catch. Jeff, I hate Jeff, but good Jeffs are quite literally a dime a dozen. You run into one, they are a menace. If a good mantis that can heal and help tap in headshots, not to mention the damage boosting, you put that on somebody like a DD, yeah, it's over. The problem is literally just is really only these main supports getting banned. And instead of learning, put it this way, the same way supports will consistently tell us to learn other tanks and other DPS characters when something's not working. Because again, they say numerous times, like, you can't play a dive, pick up a shield tank. You're not good with hit scan, go learn Iron Fist or something. Instead of them learning the other support, and again, whether they're ass or not, and I'm talking about the characters, whether the characters suck or not, instead of learning the other characters, they would rather just swap roles and play something else or not heal. And again, it's just weird. Like, one of the guys that I'm pretty sure, like Sadot, you probably know what it is. If you haven't already seen it, you can go to my Twitter, because I posted the picture, that AI fucking slop support strike picture, who is getting very, it's just funny because he's one of the people that's spearheading this movement, at least from what I've seen, and has just immediately, I know one of the things he did the other day was he tried to call out Flats to a custom, because Flats called them all pussies.
Yeah.
For saying that that's what they are, for trying this support strike shit a second time. And to be fair, he's not wrong.
Not at all.
He's not wrong. You wanted him to fight you in a custom. What is that going to prove? It's not going to prove anything. It's not going to fix the problem here. Okay, you can play another character that can beat his tank or whatever. That still doesn't prove you can't do anything on support besides play a fucking brain dead healer. That doesn't solve anything.
Exactly.
So
he's just looking for clout. That's really just what he's doing. He's just clout farming.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, it's logical to want to ban the easy and powerful healing characters, because a lot of the people that play support aren't learning those more complex healers, and if they're stuck playing them, then that's obviously going to make the difference in the game for a lot of people.
They also have the exact same ban philosophy. Like support, whenever the ban phase comes, the support character is like ban Magic, ban Spider-Man, ban Daredevil, ban Moon Knight. There are players that they're characters they don't want to play against, and they're not adjusting. They just say, oh, we got to ban those, and if you don't ban them, they'll get mad. They won't swap. They won't play around it. They just like, no, ban the character. They don't care about if someone on their team is playing that character. They don't care about anything else. Just like, nope, I don't like that character. He's too strong. I don't like playing against it. Ban it. But as soon as it happens to them, they start crying and complaining about being personally victimized.
Yeah, like I don't play a lot of ranked, obviously, but like when I do, I am typically going to play a healer, and obviously it's not ideal to have one of my main ones get banned, but that's why I have every single healer except White Fox at a Lord, which doesn't mean I'm good at all of them, but it means that I've at least played them and understand them enough, where in a pinch, if I had to, I could probably at least do it, somewhat competently.
If your Cloak and Dagger's banned, he could just get on Rocket.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. I do think it's weird. Like, that's video games, man. Like there's a ban phase. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and I don't understand. Like, yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to target the Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, Gambit, like Loki. I usually I ask you, who do you want me to pick? But I would probably pick Loki first every time, because I think going against a good Loki is the most annoying healer to go against.
It's extremely fucking annoying. Every time those lamps come up, I want to throw something.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, that's coming from somebody that plays that role a lot. Maybe not Loki, but I play the support role a lot. So yeah, sure. Should you maybe go after maybe a Moon Knight or whatever? Yeah, because those are also easy characters. But I think the healers, having good healing, literally could be the entire difference in a game. We've seen it time and time again. So yeah, of course they're going to get targeted a little bit more, and that's why you should know more than one character. That's why you go through and play multiple characters. You don't one trick. You don't even three trick. I think you should know at least 4 characters in each role.
Yeah, and that's been a consistent problem with the community, especially we've seen in the DPS community. But yeah, a lot of people just come in and they have their favorite 1 or 2 characters, and they don't want to learn anything else. And that's fine if you're a quick play warrior, but then they'll come into competitive and expect everyone else on the team to adjust to them because they refuse to play anything else.
Right. I agree with that actually completely. I think if you're in quick play, I mean, I know we make the joke it's just quick play all the time, but if you are in quick play and you are kind of like a one trick and you don't get your way, throwing a fit isn't the end of the world. But if you're going into rank, you have to keep into mind that your other people you're playing with are their journey is on the line too. I know that it's poetic or whatever, trying to be noble and whatever, but I think you have a social contract with the other people you're playing with when you enter rank that you're gonna do your best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, try to win, because
right. You're not gonna pout. You're not gonna you have to there's that social contract. You have to take into account that everybody's trying to advance and just not be a dick.
Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Right. Especially, I'm seeing. I started watching some streams finally to see how the first couple first days are going in rank season, and seems like a lot of stuff is the same. A lot of throwers, a lot of people crying, and holding their teams back. But the sentiment seems to be that the third ban is a W. Double bans are still annoying, and the 20% change has definitely made games feel better, but it's definitely not enough, and more needs to be done. So the game is still going in a solid direction, I'd say, but they definitely got to lock in 7.5 and improve on the foundation. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else they come up with. Because 7.5 is also when we get that new PvE mode. First of the Path to Doomsday, we're getting the Loki PvE mode where we recreate the final battle of Avengers 2012. That's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to try that. Obviously, the one most people are looking forward to is the Thanos mode coming in, and I think it'll be season 10 will be the first one. That's Infinity War. Season 9 is going to be Age of Ultron. But I definitely love the PvE stuff. I'm glad they're bringing it back and doubling down on it. And of course, we'll have Black Cat that season. We don't probably going to be a duelist. Looking
makes the most sense.
Yeah, makes some sense. Not sure how they'd make her anything else, but I am more curious to see how they're going to figure out her luck powers, how they're going to use those without making it too broken and useless.
Also, the support strike isn't going to kill the game. If that's what you were if that's what you thought I was insinuating, no,
because it's not because it's not real.
Right. And even if it was real, it's just a bunch of people bitching. No, we're gonna be fine. We were fine in season 2 when it happened. We're gonna be fine now.
I'm gonna be real with you. The only references I've seen to it is people making fun of it. So I don't really think it's gonna affect anything that much.
Yeah.
No, that's all it ever was. Like it's just a way for people to farm content at this point. Like because it doesn't actually affect the actual game, because the people apart from maybe somebody and will make a joke about it in game chat, but there's like not actual support players going on strike, and now there are actual penalties now for people throwing games. So that's a nice thing to have in the background, just in case. Make sure if you do encounter throwers, you report them immediately. Best way for them to get punished is for you to hit that report button when you see it. Don't just tilt in queue next game. Make sure you avoid them. Voice slots. We also need more voice slots, please. Please, Guangong, give us more voice slots. we need more than 3. That would be very helpful.
And we need a bigger friends list.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a Jay specific problem, but for sure,
it's because he keeps adding everybody.
He cannot say no.
Well, I've started. I just deleted like 10 people, and like I always feel bad when I like know who the person is.
Go delete 15 more.
Yeah, I delete people so that I can. I basically, you can't take it personally if I delete you. It means I haven't played with you in a long time.
Delete Geo.
I have deleted Geo before, actually.
Delete Ski.
And then I trust me, I would love to delete Ski.
Jay's a bully.
Yeah, no.
Unacceptable. What do you think about the season 8 lineup? We was revealed in the final gallery card that we're getting Cyclops and Devil Dinosaur as the heroes of season 8. Are you excited?
Do we know for sure it's Devil Dinosaur? I mean,
yes,
it didn't seem as obvious. Like there's a plush there.
That's Devil Dinosaur.
I know. I know that's who it is. I'm very familiar with Devil Dinosaur.
He's also in the museum.
Yeah, but I mean, Howard the Duck is in the museum. Like there's plenty of characters in the museum. I don't know.
But they're not in the image right above Cyclops' glasses.
Yeah. I understand. Again, it didn't seem as obvious in the description and all the lore.
It's the same
as Black Cat and White Fox were.
It was actually the same exact thing, except even more obvious than the season 6 lore, because in that one, the only thing they mentioned in the actual text was Kingpin. That was which was the villain. But on the actual image, they had a picture of, in addition to the monsters, right under Deadpool, there was a cat and a
fox.
Black cat. That was good. This time, they explicitly put Cyclops in the text, and then in the actual image, they put his sunglasses to make it even more obvious, and then right above it, they put the Devil Dinosaur plushie. So that was them.
Not to mention, when you look at how the teasers are treated, like literally going back to the earlier seasons, with the exception of maybe season 1, because I can't fully remember how the Fantastic Four were teased, but it's either the new characters get teased either in the image or in the text format. Because, for example, Blade was teased, I believe, in text format, and Phoenix was teased. Phoenix was also teased in the text format, with Adam saying, in order to combat a primal force of the universe, we're gonna need one of our own.
Exactly.
With season 4 and the Collector sending the Grandmaster sending the letter over to Shao Lao, it was him saying that if you play your cards right and they don't drain every last bit of your life force, that's Gambit and Rogue. After that, then I believe we had the Deadpool and Elsa teaser in the Collector image, but we also had a text tease for them as well. So it switches. it switches. So I understand what Jay is saying, that it doesn't necessarily seem like that, but the same way we saw Howard the Duck, think about it. We only saw that one instance of him.
No,
This is
I understand.
this is twice that both Cyclops and DD have been teased in different formats.
I mean, Cyclops has been teased a number of times. So like I feel like Cyclops 100% obvious is season 8. And nothing ever seems to really be an accident. So I understand, okay, it's probably Devil Dinosaur or Moon Girl.
I will say I could say it's definitely Devil Dinosaur. And I don't remember all the Fantastic Four teasers, but I do remember the one that I noticed was that they were actually, their symbol actually appeared in one of those early trailers.
I do remember that. I do remember that. It was like a blink and you miss thing.
Yeah, and when I slowed it down, I saw that they had the fantastic one of the shots had the Fantastic Four symbol, and I was like, "Oh, that's when I started paying attention to the lore and the clues." But for sure, 100%, Cyclops and Devil Dinosaur are the new heroes of season 8. The current mystery is who the mysterious character that's watching them across the street is. It is a woman. Initially, the initial reading, it was believed that the clue was referring to Jean, but it was actually referring to a rogue as someone who has the exact same thought patterns as the person that's watching them. And the current theory is that it's Captain Marvel.
Now, I don't know about that. I know about
Mystique.
I did too. I do know about somebody that's possibly going to be coming after this season. It was more so he's been getting teased. He's been name dropped. No. He hasn't. I don't think he's been officially name dropped until season. He hasn't been officially name dropped until I want to say season 5, maybe. But he has been. But he has been referenced going way back a bit. Like, for example, and there was lore when he's talking with Spidey. What's the word? There was something being mentioned about things that Daredevil has done that has made him question again his own morality and his sense of self. And Spider-Man also thinks back to how he can relate to that, which is saying that he might have done something similar. He might have done something similar to basically Matt making a deal with the devil. And the way that that's basically lined up, this Peter made a different kind of deal with Mephisto, which wasn't to save Aunt May. Now, season 5, again, he gets referenced again because that's the person that's teasing Doom with dreams of his mother. However, because he lost all his memories, he doesn't know who she is. He finally got name dropped here in season 6 because his name was actually on the contract in the gallery card, but he's also name dropped in the text as well. Going back to what Jay said, things like rivals, they always do things on purpose.
Yep.
For anybody that doesn't know, as to how the Collector got Doom's, I forget her name.
Cynthia.
Cynthia. As to how he got Cynthia's contract in the first place, Mephisto traded it for a set of brass pipes that the Collector had no idea what they did. He just thought they looked fancy. However, there's another key word that I believe popped up in the second paragraph. Now, I had already figured out what it was before I read the second paragraph because I went and looked it up. But all the second paragraph did was basically confirm it. What he traded for the contract for was a concordance engine.
Yep.
A concordance engine is something that is used by the Beyonders to basically travel the multiverse, and it can alter reality, space, and time. For whatever reason, Mephisto wanted the engine. That's what he traded.
It could also note that it was also a device created to there were also devices created to keep the Dark Celestials in check.
Yeah. So again, there's no telling what Mephisto necessarily needs it for. But again, this is just to further reiterate Jay's point. Everything is done on a purpose, even the smallest things in the littlest of details. So sometimes you have to take a second look at things.
So I think Captain Marvel was certainly an interesting idea for that person up there too. But I feel like it's more Mystique, because isn't that like her like adoptive mother?
No, that's her real mother.
I didn't think there was a real mother. I thought that it was like she kind of like almost like not really adopted, but like kind of took her in, was a mother like figure. I think she isn't she Nightcrawler's real mom, yeah. But I don't think she's actually Rogue's real mom, but that would be that familiar presence, you know what I mean? But yeah, it'd be interesting if that ends up being the other playable character. I don't want to like put Sadot out there and say he knows something more than what he read, but like I don't know. Devil Dinosaur just seems like, I guess it wouldn't be that weird, but like I don't know how you make him to scale.
I'm assuming that whatever the mysterious figure is, could be something potentially in season 9, maybe season 10, because season 8 is definitely Cyclops and Devil Dinosaur.
Okay, I'll accept that. Which is cool, because like I wouldn't even hate it if it was like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur and it was something like Cloak and Dagger.
I would assume that would be the case, because I don't think people. I think it would definitely cause a bit of a ruckus if they added Devil Dinosaur without Moon Girl, because that would have been the equivalent of adding Dagger without Cloak.
Right, and I feel like here's the thing: Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, Moon Girl was like shockingly one of the absolute most fun characters in the game. So I would actually think that they would do a really cool job with her.
Yeah.
And I feel like Devil Dinosaur would be like an ultimate summon or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I think they're going to be dual characters like Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
Madame Pyre was my theory. I thought Goblin Queen, but that was when I thought the clue about them having the exact same thought patterns was a reference to Jean, because obviously that would make sense for Jean's clone to have the same thought patterns as her. But now that we know it's referring to Rogue, then we have to look at, okay, what character related to Rogue would have the exact same thought patterns as her? Which is why I assume Captain Marvel, because Rogue literally has her personality and memories.
Yeah. That's a good guess too. And I think I'm shocked we're this far in and Captain Marvel hasn't come to the game. And I always cite Captain Marvel as being like the reason why I don't think we're ever going to get Nova.
Yeah, I mean, this ain't our first time though.
What do you mean?
This has happened before. We've been this far into a game.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, like when you consider the way that like Nova or like Iron Man, and I would imagine Captain Marvel work, I just feel like the two of them are what Nova would be, and which is why I'm not ever really counting on getting Nova until maybe like a season 25, when we're like, you know, all right, we already got Pace Pop Pete in here, you know. So
it would be insane if we got Pace Pop Pete before Nova.
I always thought that was a weird choice, but we'll see.
I would hope we get a Big Wheel before Pace Pop Pete.
I hope we get neither of them, to be honest. Actually, no, I hope we do get them, because that means we've probably made it to season 75, and we are, and you guys are also old and gray with me.
Never. Medical science will find a way.
Yeah.
Mystique is the father now, and Destiny is the mother of Nightcrawler now. It's the new retcon. I don't know if that's what the Rivals lore is covering though. They do reference the comics or whatever, but from my understanding, they're not necessarily doing current issues necessarily, but they do.
Kind of are. one of the biggest.
Sometimes like there's like a mix. Like they like the mutants they're reviewing their mutants are the Krakoa era, so that's why we saw their version of Professor
Sentinels.
Xavier. Yeah, the Stark Sentinels.
That's from past the Krakoa era.
Yeah, Professor Xavier has legs, and he's got the helmet. And they definitely are doing some of the newer stuff with their interpretations, but I'm not sure how far they're going to go exactly with like keeping issue to issue tying with the lore, because they do have to plan this stuff like kind of like a year in advance.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's like one of the things where, one of the big reactions to this season was how not in love people were with the battle pass. But like, you have to keep in mind that like any feedback you're giving them now is not going to be realized probably for like 3 seasons. You know what I mean? Because like they've got this stuff all lined up, and it's like to pivot, it's going to take a lot of lead time.
I don't think there's really anything for them to consider pivoting. Like they already know people like MCU and comic book costumes, but they also made it clear that they're going to have their original stuff. They're going to have their themes, and they wouldn't do original stuff if they weren't selling. Like let's be honest.
Well, again, I mean, I think you have no way of like, you can't like, so all right, let's say that some of this original stuff, let's say this is the worst battle pass sales that they've had, right? The next battle pass, I would imagine, is already done, planned out, and being worked on, if not already ready to go. Like they know what they're doing.
Not necessarily. Like from our understanding, they have plenty of time. Like they've to make pivots if they need be. Like I know I've heard from that they've, even in the case of characters, they've actually overhauled character kits in response to player feedback ahead of their release. So a battle pass wouldn't be really anything for them, just especially since they have a bunch of skins already made ready to go. It wouldn't be anything to switch some stuff around. Like they went there, they shot their shot with this whole ESU theme. So we'll have to see how popular these end up being. But me personally, definitely my least favorite pass. But I think in general the original skins are here to stay, because I think they have been proven to be successful. Maybe this one just ends up being a miss, but I don't think this is going to stop them from doing original stuff.
Yeah, like they make some really good original stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's just lately the balance between original and like comic or movie or whatever has been just overwhelmingly original, and I'm just a little over it.
and I personally don't. And me personally, I don't care about the ratio. I just care about the quality. Like if they. Like I thought the Twisted Nightmare, Captain America, for example, the Guts Berserker Captain America, one of the best skins, comic or otherwise, we've ever seen in the game. I think if we're getting that sort of stuff, that's great. But I gotta understand when people see an original that's also not their cup of tea, that would be annoying, because they're like, well, we could have just had a comic skin there, And even then, like some of the comic skins, I don't even think are that good anyway. So it's kind of like an overrated.
I'm just annoyed. Like the Deadpool, what we're getting this season with Deadpool and Jeff, 100% makes sense. They did a good job with it. Like it's something that it has been in the comics. I don't know about Jeff, but definitely Deadpool has been. There's a Funko Pop of him as a maid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just not like after the pirate one wasn't. I don't love the pirate one like a lot of people. I just was hoping for something. I was hoping for like a movie skin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was hoping for his Deadpool and Wolverine or something, which I know isn't like super different from his standard one, but it's different enough. I don't know. I just was hoping for something else, and it's one of those things where like they thought that they're making bad original skins. I hate the whole World Tour line, the entire World Tour line. Hate it. Not for me at all. But I also understand there's people that like it. So it's like it's a catch-22. It's always going to be.
I like a few. I like a few of them. I like the Silac one. The Luna one is I thought was really good, especially once you get rid of those weird sunglasses. And the upcoming Magic one looks really good.
Mm.
But in general, yeah, the Luna Stowe propaganda tour is not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
Unless you really love disco, or because I feel like a lot of players who play this game don't even know what disco is. It's definitely before your time. It was during Jay's time, but not a lot of other people were alive for that. You're waiting for MCU Cap 2 Winter Soldier skin for Bucky. I hope when they drop the Loki PvE mode, we get the full set of Avengers 2012 costumes, not just Loki. I feel like that would be a missed opportunity if we don't also have like a whole bundle with Cap, Thor, Hulk, Widow, Hawkeye, everybody. I want all of those Avengers 2012 costumes, so we can do the full LARP.
Well, that's the other thing though. Like I feel like they could kind of get away with releasing more than 2 skins a week. You know, like in the store at this point, you got, what are we at, 48 characters? You know,
Yeah.
like give a couple more options. I also think they could do a whole wave of every character getting another, 600 V-Buck recolor, which maybe is going to happen with these team skins. Did you see the purple Deadpool skin?
I've seen some of the esports skins. So yeah, that is something they're doing. They're going to have esports specific variants of different costumes, which are very cool. I saw they added an additional skin to the launch. Usually they launch with a new skin for the new character and one other skin. This time they launched with 3, the Punisher, Ultron, in addition to the White Fox. They added an emote to the Twitch drops now for the season. So they're doing some stuff. I think they definitely. I don't think too many people would complain if they added extra skin, and between these mini battle passes, they have been kind of adding a lot more skins to the game on a weekly basis. Sometimes some weeks they'll have like 4 or 5 skins technically hitting the shop. 2 in the shop, and some on the mini pass. So they're definitely seeing limit testing, seeing what people are interested in terms of new costumes. And I think as long as they're good, they'll keep buying them. But yeah, I'm not sure how. I know of the ESU stuff. The one I'm seeing most is like Hela and Luna, which are these. I think those are some of the better ones. I think Penny's. Whenever people get to that one, I think that was one of the better. Arguably, I think that's probably the best skin on that pass, honestly.
I mean, my favorite skin is obviously the Angela 1602.
Of course, yeah.
That one, like I've said a million times, was what I was hoping we would get when she came out. I knew we would get it eventually. It's one of her like only other comic outfits, really. But like I love that skin in Marvel Heroes, which, by the way, Project Tahiti, if you Google that, Marvel Heroes fan project, it's back. It's fully launched at 1.0. I haven't had a chance to jump into it. I've been dealing with all the monetization bullshit today. My intention was to do it today. I'll do it tomorrow for sure. But you could basically I don't think I'm going to stream it right away. Maybe I should actually.
You should actually.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Maybe I will stream it. Yeah, we'll stream it. I want to make a video about it too, but I think we should definitely stream it. So yeah, that's out. So yeah, cool stuff.
Gio has spoken.
He speaks a lot. Too much, some would say.
Yeah, some would. And the other thing, this coming week we got Daredevil Born Again season 2. Invincible made its debut last week. I've enjoyed it, and we want to have The Boys as well. And we also had season 2 of One Piece. I'm someone who obviously loves my anime. One Piece, not one of the ones I got into. It's the one of the big 3 that I never got into. I got into it by the time I was somewhat interested, because people were saying, "Oh, One Piece, you gotta watch One Piece, it's a classic." It was like 1,000 episodes of the anime.
I've heard that.
I'm not fucking watching that. But anime having a lot of episodes isn't necessarily like an obstacle for me. I've literally had an anime where I started it and it had like 500 episodes in the movie, and I watched all of it within a week. So if it's good enough, if it hooks me, then I'll definitely binge through it, and the more episodes the better. One Piece never really hooked me like that. I got through like the first 21 episodes and it never really clicked. And then when I saw the Netflix adaptation, I was like, okay, let me try this out, because usually live action anime adaptations are dog shit, but this one was actually really good. And so I was actually looking forward to season 2, and surprisingly, season 2 was way better than season 1, and which was already really good. And now I'm actually interested in picking up the anime, because just how fucking great season 2 of One Piece has been so far.
Fair warning,
blew me away.
That fight, the season 1, the fight with Don Creed, that's about like 11 episodes. Just that singular fight. That is what you gotta understand. The pace of the One Piece is ass.
I know. That's what I said. I watched the first 21. I watched the first 21 episodes, so I knew a lot of what happened. I knew a lot of what happened. I know. That was my issue. That was my. I think that was my. That was one of my issues with Bleach, but on a much smaller scale. Bleach had horrific filler problems during its run.
One Piece is probably worse. There's a handful of people that will tell you to skip certain arcs, like Thriller Bark, like the entire arc. It's so bad. Now I'm not saying that it's a bad arc, but it's filler. It's not needed. That's what people will tell you. You thought Bleach is bad. One Piece is so much worse.
That's why I was thinking of just reading the manga. Right, it might be better. I appreciate the 5 of Marnie. Who do I think would win, Cliff or Miles Morales? Probably Miles. But again, I don't know anything. I haven't seen all of Cliff's abilities, but definitely from what I've seen in the beginning of the game, Miles Morales would obviously just dog walk him.
Wait, Cliff from who? Wait, Cliff who?
He's just talking about Crimson Desert right now. He's the protagonist of Crimson Desert. At the start, he's just a normal human warrior with
Jon Snow.
He's literally just Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, yeah.
Who is in Fortnite right now? Creator code JayShockblast.
Who is in Fortnite, but when he's killed and comes back to life, he gets powers, and as you go through the game, he gains different special abilities. I've seen people with late game builds, and in the early access and stuff like that, and he has a lot of cool moves. I haven't seen anything yet that would allow him to beat a Spider-Man in a fight, but
I just see people getting like pile drivered everywhere.
Yeah, which is obviously not going to help someone who can dodge bullets, but and go invisible. But there may be some cool magic or whatever that he learns eventually, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'll definitely I might check out the manga, because the one thing I don't like in anime is filler. That's why I hesitate to get into. I've been hesitating to get.
It is avoidable. That's the great thing. That's the great thing about One Piece being out for this long. There are very detailed watch lists that let you know what to avoid. Like, you can watch this, you can watch that, skip these 2 arcs back to back, and then just go straight to side Pia. Like it tells you what all you need to avoid if you don't want to watch filler. So like that is the good thing about it. But outside of the filler, again, the pacing is still just ass. A fight will take like 20, like a singular fight will be like 20 episodes.
That's like the Dragon Ball Z meme from like how we used to go week to week, hype about these fights, and it would just be an entire episode of powering up.
which is funny because I believe they still have they could be number 2, but they still have the record for the longest fight in anime history, which is Goku and Frieza.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then again, if you also look back to keep in mind, there's at least like 40 episodes of like the Tournament of Power. I forget which episode, but there's a singular episode where there's at least 3 different fights, an entire power up, and 2 big dialogues. Yeah, that was literally just a minute of the tourney in their time.
The
singular minute.
Yeah, the time is wild in Dragon Ball. So I'll probably end up trying out the One Piece manga first. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of the anime after that takes place after season 2 of Netflix. But I'm really just enjoying the Netflix series. It's so well done. It's been a great introduction into reintroduction into Bleach. Boruto. Yeah, I don't even bother with Boruto because Boruto's filler because I read the manga. I was reading the manga. So I'm just like, okay, well, I don't need any of this shit. I just watch. I know where the story is supposed to be going. I know already all the bullshit I can just skip. So I'm not worried about that. I know it's coming back, so I'm probably going to just jump in. I was looking at it a couple of days ago. I was like, okay, this is where I'll jump back in on the Boruto anime to catch up, to get ready for the new stuff. Because I don't mind filler when it's good, it spreads some, gives you more information on some backstory. It's well written, but I don't like filler. Just it feels like it's just for the sake of filler. It's just boring. That's my main issue. Cliff is strong. Appreciate the 5. Cliff is strong. Yeah, that doesn't matter. He's cool, but I need to see him do something like Spider-Man level before I'm like, okay, he can take on Miles. Like I've yet to see anything Cliff can do that can counter him getting webbed up. like if the Hulk can get webbed up by Spider-Man, I don't see what Cliff could possibly do to get out of it. Like he can, like his flying is pretty cool, but I mean, there's really nothing stopping him from just getting webbed up and tied and hung upside down. Like it's not really anything Jon Snow can do there. Like he just like you can't unless he gains the ability to teleport later in the game, which I haven't seen yet. I've seen him do so far. I've seen him do wrestling moves. He can do cool sword / combos. He can do like a energy palm strike, whatever, but nothing that can stop a Spider-Man. So it's so for me, until I see him do some really crazy superhuman stuff, he just gets washed by the Marvel characters with superpowers. But I think we can call it for this week. Appreciate everyone hanging out. It's past Jay's bedtime.
Well, I officially have all my videos remonetized.
Woohoo!
Now I have to go through all my live streams, which shouldn't take as long.
Oh, great. So make sure you support Jay. He'll be he's already committed to streaming some Marvel Heroes tomorrow.
Yeah, he bullied me into it.
I would play if I had it.
Yep. So
it's PC and it's free.
I would play if I had it.
Yeah. Great. Classic great. So if you can't play it, definitely drop by with Jay when Jay stream it. Say hello, support the man, and if you played Marvel Heroes before, relive some of the glory days. I'm not going to be streaming it or playing it because I'm probably won't get to work on my PC, but I'll definitely stop by, say hello. I'm probably not going to have any videos planned. And I was just going to play a little ranked, maybe with King Greek. That's about it. I'll probably drop a new Robbers video on Tuesday, when we get the news from this week.
Play ranked to now if you want,
or we could do that as well. So I'll definitely make sure I stop by Jay's stream to see the Marvel Heroes GOAT himself in action.
There are people that know me from Marvel Heroes as much as they know me from for Lego games. So it was one of my big games.
That's right. So put some respect on his name. All right. Appreciate the 5. Ronnie, understatement of the year. Crimson Desert does have a big map. I think might be the biggest map in gaming history on technically speaking. All right, so we'll catch you guys next week. We'll see if the support strike is continuing and what other crazy stuff is happening. We'll probably do weird. Yep. We'll also do just a review of Daredevil Born Again, the season debut. We'll yap about that. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I am not Casual Avenger.
And I'm a black guy.
Allegedly. Actually.
Yeah. And Randy Walters is a son of a bitch.
And make sure you have some lemon pound cake before. I'm Sadot the Gamer. Signing out. Zip it up and zip it out. Peace, all my naysayers.